Have you ever found yourself in a heated argument, trying to explain something so obvious, so logical, only to be met with a blank stare, or worse, blind resistance? You had facts, clarity, perspective, and still the other person refused to even consider your point, not because it didn't make sense, but because it didn't match their limited worldview. They weren't searching for truth. They were just waiting for you to say something that confirms what they already believe. Here's the truth. Most people don't want to be awakened because waking up requires effort. It requires humility, and above all, it requires the courage to let go of who they think they are. Socrates was sentenced to death for trying to open minds. Schopenhauer said, "Don't waste your time trying to enlighten those who choose the dark." Carl Jung revealed the deeper fear. Confronting new ideas means confronting yourself. So ask yourself honestly, do you want to be right or do you want to be free? In this video, we'll go through 5 powerful reasons why you should stop wasting your time and energy arguing with people who aren't ready to grow or don't want to. And let me be clear, the last 2 reasons are simply undeniable. Stay with me. This may save you not only hours of frustration, but years of inner peace. Most people aren't looking for truth. They're looking for confirmation. This is one of the harshest but most liberating truths you'll ever learn. Arthur Schopenhauer, in The Art of Being Right, exposed how most people don't argue to understand. They argue to win. And modern psychology backs this up with what's known as the confirmation bias, the mental shortcut where people seek out information that supports what they already believe and ignore everything that doesn't. Think about it. How many times have you presented clear evidence, logic, or even personal experience, only to hear something like, "Well, I've never heard of that, so it can't be true"? That's not curiosity. That's a closed system. And arguing with a closed system is like shouting at a locked door, hoping it will open just because your voice is loud. Here's the hard part to swallow. Some people are more committed to being right than to being free. So why waste your energy? When you stop trying to convince the unconvincible, you reclaim your peace. You redirect your energy toward growth, toward people who are actually seeking, just like you. And more importantly, you stop feeding your frustration. Freedom doesn't come from proving your point. It comes from knowing when to walk away. And the emotional cost outweighs any intellectual gain. You might win the argument, but at what price? As Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, taught, we don't control what others think, say, or do. We only control our own thoughts, reactions, and inner peace. And yet every day, people throw away their calm trying to change minds that were never open in the first place. Carl Jung explained why this happens. He said that what we react to emotionally in others is often a projection, a reflection of something unresolved within ourselves. So when a debate turns heated, it's rarely just about the topic. It becomes personal. Ego enters. Old wounds are triggered. And now, instead of a conversation, you're in a battle to defend not just your point, but your very identity. Is that really worth it? As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Choosing peace doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're wise. By walking away from pointless debates, you protect your energy, your focus, your emotional clarity. You stay grounded and unshaken, while others burn out in battles that lead nowhere. Remember, winning a useless argument might feed your pride, but protecting your peace will feed your soul. Third, some paradigms can only be broken through experience, not words. You can speak with clarity, you can bring logic, stories, even kindness, but still, they won't see it. Why? Because some truths are not meant to be explained. They're meant to be lived. Socrates understood this deeply. That's why he used the Maieutic method, not to preach, but to ask questions. He believed real learning comes from within, not from being told. And yet, many of his conversations ended in frustration, not transformation. Because if someone isn't ready, no amount of reasoning will make them see. Jesus, too, didn't argue. He told parables, simple stories that planted seeds, knowing that time and experience would do the rest. Because true wisdom doesn't always land at first. It needs space to grow. There's an old Zen saying, "The finger pointing to the moon is not the moon." Words, no matter how brilliant, are just fingers, and if the person is too focused on the finger, they'll never look up to see the truth it's pointing to. So why avoid these debates? Because you're not responsible for someone else's awakening. You can offer light, but they must choose to open their eyes. By stepping back, you honor your own journey, and you give them the dignity of theirs. Sometimes silence is the greatest wisdom, and patience, the most powerful teacher. Earth, you might be feeding your ego, not your reason. Let's be honest, sometimes we don't argue because we care about truth. We argue because we want to win. We want to feel smarter, superior, right. But what if, beneath that logic, beneath that passion, we're just trying to silence a deeper insecurity? Nietzsche, in Human, All Too Human, warned us about this. He showed how even our noblest pursuits, like truth and justice, can be hijacked by something far less noble: vanity, our need to be admired, to be the one who knows better. Carl Jung called this the shadow, the part of ourselves we deny, but that silently drives our actions. When we're locked in a debate we refuse to walk away from, is it really about truth, or is it about pride? Lao Tzu once said, "The one who disagrees with you is not your enemy, but your teacher." If we truly seek wisdom, we don't just speak, we listen. We don't just prove, we learn. But if there's no exchange, if you're just trying to wake someone up while secretly enjoying how asleep they are, that's not enlightenment. That's ego wearing a wise man's mask. And ego is never satisfied. So why avoid these debates? Because sometimes the argument isn't with them, it's with ourselves, and walking away might be the first honest thing you've done in the entire conversation. Fifth, time and energy are finite resources. This is the ultimate truth, undeniable, inescapable, unforgiving. Seneca, in On the Shortness of Life, didn't sugarcoat it. It's not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. Every moment you spend in a fruitless debate, every drop of emotional energy spilled trying to convince someone who refuses to listen, is a moment stolen from your purpose, from your growth, from your peace, from the people who actually matter. And here's the sobering part: you don't get those minutes back, ever. The Stoics understood this deeply. They lived as if each day could be their last, because one day it will be. William James, the father of modern psychology, said, "The art of being wise is the art of knowing what to ignore." And that includes battles that aren't yours, arguments that drain, not sharpen, voices that echo, but never evolve. So why avoid these debates? Because time is your most precious currency, and wasting it on closed minds is like throwing gold into a fire where nothing remains. Let others shout into the void. Let them cling to illusions, to pride, to noise. You walk away because you know what's worth your time and what isn't. That's not weakness, that's mastery. So in the end, what do we truly gain by trying to prove ourselves right to those who aren't even trying to grow? Truth is not a weapon, wisdom is not a competition, and your peace is not up for negotiation. Some people will only understand after life humbles them. Others may never understand at all, and that's okay, because your path is not to argue, it's to walk, to live in alignment, to be the example, not the enforcer. Let your silence speak louder than their noise. Let your choices speak louder than their doubts. Let your life speak the truth that words alone never could. And if this message resonated with you, If it sparked something real in you, don't keep it to yourself. Like this video. Share it with someone who's wasting their energy on the wrong battle, and subscribe to this channel, because this space was made for minds like yours. Minds that seek not just to know more, but to become more. Thank you for being here, and remember, the wiser you become, the quieter your world gets.